Hi, everybody. It's Don from the MS Guide. I don't think any of you will recognize this gentleman, but you'll get to know him very quickly. This is Brandon Price. He lives in the States. And Brandon, to me, sort of came onto the scene. He writes this awesome blog. He's just started writing this blog. And by the way, all the descriptions here, everything as usual, will be in the description. This is self-funded, this channel. It's by an MSer, that's me, and speaking to other MSers like Brandon. So if you can subscribe, I really appreciate it. Just click the button. But anyway, enough of the YouTuber stuff. Let's get on with it. Brandon, how you doing?
Dominic, I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Good. It's a pleasure. I was so thrilled reading your blog and seeing some of your stuff on Twitter. I thought I'm going to have to ask this guy if he's going to come on the MS Guide. Can you tell us a bit about yourself and your MS and all the sort of stuff that people would want to know?
Yeah, so my name is Brandon. I have had MS for going on 10 years. It has come in to my life kind of like a wrecking ball, like it will for a lot of us.
Oh, yeah.
And the first many years that I was diagnosed, I didn't do much about it because I was really blindsided of what was happening to me. So long story short, I've had it for 10 years. It came into my life like a wrecking ball. It flipped my life upside down. And, I'm currently on a DMT for it, and everything's been stable since, so I can't complain.
Which DMT are you taking?
I'm on Ocrevus.
Right. Okay. I used to take that. So yeah, I know exactly where you're going. Brandon, give us a feel. How old are you? Because I know you're younger than me.
I am 34 years old. I'll be
Right.
35 here in August.
Right. Okay, cool. It's so you've had this since you were 25, 24, 25.
Yeah, 24.
So yeah, I know we were talking before. I mean, I was diagnosed at 24 and you're right. And one of the things we thought we should talk about is as guys or blokes, whatever you want to call it, we're not really good generally, historically, at going, something's wrong, I'm going to go to the doctor. There's a tiny little bit of suck it up, cupcake, stop whining, get on with it. And then all of a sudden it sort of comes and goes, knock, knock, hello, I'm here. And guess what? I'm going to screw you up.
Yeah. And it comes when you least expect it. Your life is going along, you're enjoying your family, you're doing events, you're attending things, and all of a sudden it's like something just comes into your life and just wipes you off your feet. And
What happened? Tell me.
Well,
what was your like, oh my gosh?
Yeah, well, my first symptoms, what it was I had the cognitive issues. I was unable to think. I couldn't understand what I was reading. My speech was really slurred. My legs were really heavy.
Yeah.
I thought it was something going on with my heart. I was having heart palpitations, so I went to a cardiologist. Turns out my heart was fine, and instead of following through, or the cardiology people, they kind of closed that up, and we moved to the neurology side. And
so there was some continuum. They didn't just say, see you later, Brandon, your heart's fine, and you didn't walk off.
Yeah, they sent me then to neurology.
Right.
And
okay.
they put me in a MRI machine and pulled me out, and this was at the ER because I couldn't walk. They had to wheel me in with a wheelchair.
Wow. Okay.
And they pulled me out and they said, Brandon, you need to follow up with the neurologist immediately. And that's kind of what started my journey. And here I am 10 years later, still fighting the good fight.
Yeah, it's really weird. You see, for me, it was kind of relatively small things which led to my diagnosis. I was getting the hermit sign. When you bend your neck and I always say it's like licking your fingers and sticking them in the plug, but without any pain. Yeah, it was just this incredible electrical sensation, but it wasn't disabling me and it wasn't hurting me. And it was only because I had a chance conversation with a chum. She's a doctor, and she was a young doctor as I was young, and she was just training. And I think she'd remembered from one of her medical books, because all she said when I described it, I went, look, I know it's a dinner, we just have a barbecue. You don't want to talk work, but I'm kind of wondering. And she went, oh, well, stop running, which I was happy to hear because I hate running, and go see your doctor in a month. And then it all sort of just went bang, sort of, after a month, it was still doing it. 6 weeks later, you've got MS. But I mean, the difference was there was no internet, there was nothing. and I kind of just went, oh, well, that sucks, and got on with life. And then if we scroll forward to the, I think it was 99 or 2001, the dot-com boom. I was in the middle, I was giving a lecture and I was in Tel Aviv. And I can only describe it as this sort of sensation came galloping across my head and I just could not talk. It wasn't, if I tried to make a noise, it just sounded like somebody dying. And I mean, it was not good. And that gets your attention. You're being paid to do something which involves talking to a group of people, and you can't. And you're just there going, and then it went away. And I started talking again. But it came on, and I'm just thinking, panic, help, stay cool, what's going on? And that's when I think it really started to sort of get my attention.
Yeah. Wow.
Then it stops. Then it goes away. Then you go, oh, I can't be serious. And then you just get on with life. Have you ever had any of that sort of, have I really got MS feeling, that sort of phony feeling?
Yeah, there are many times I'm actually I have really close friends that have MS, and there are a lot of times when I'll say, is this really MS that I'm feeling, or is this just maybe some anxiety, or and they can only confirm like, hey, what you're feeling, I feel that too. So so we kind of bounce our issues off of each other.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a good. I would like to say, it's important that when you're navigating your journey, and especially early on, finding a support group and others living with MS, it will be a game changer for you.
Right. I didn't do that. I kind of, now I've got this great community, I mean, which is where I bumped into you, I think Twitter or what do they call it, the blogosphere or something, but it's just, I mean, there's an incredible MS community on Twitter.
Yeah.
It's really different from the Instagram one as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I kind of, just because of the channel, I put things on Instagram, but it's really weird to see the difference in how people, Instagram's, I don't know what your thought is. Instagram seems to be more, this is about me.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And there's no real sort of, do you get that feeling?
Yeah. I feel like Instagram is more about the memes, the graphics, where on Twitter you can have kind of a personal interaction with people, bounce things back and forth with each other, and kind of more have a personal connection, especially within the MS community. Since joining Twitter and kind of going public with my MS diagnosis only a few months ago, wow, I'm just blown away at the MS presence on Twitter. It's on Instagram, but just the amount of interaction you can get on Twitter with people with MS, it's very empowering.
That's what I mean. Instagram, not memes. It's about me. I want to say something that I think, and I'm just poof, there you go, laying it out there, making a statement instead of walking off. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, I'm also Twitter friend. I remember very recently disagreeing with you quite fundamentally, but it doesn't mean that you're at war or you're just, having, it's just like, no, mate, I don't agree. But then you're allowed not to agree. And you're also allowed to disagree with anything, you know what I mean? But it's kind of nice. And then other people come in, and then sometimes it makes you look at something from a different angle.
Yeah. Well, and like I said, I wrote a blog about it maybe 2 weeks ago about the MS community on Twitter. And then there's 3 takeaways I get from that. Is you've got your neurologists who are fantastic on there. They're always sharing up-to-date information and the latest and greatest research. And they'll even sometimes take the second to answer your question if you ask them something. You've got your MS veterans that are full of knowledge and willing to lend a hand. But then you've also got those people that join Twitter because they're newly diagnosed. MS is being diagnosed every day. And when those people come to Twitter and they say, oh, I just got diagnosed with MS, I don't know where to go, don't know what to do, my world's been flipped upside down. I feel like I've just seen the MS community kind of hover around them and kind of try and guide them on the right path.
I think, frankly, I think the guidance is better on Twitter. I've seen some more slightly out there opinions on Instagram. The ones where I think I couldn't honestly recommend something to somebody that just had the opinion of a few people. And it's also with Instagram, you always get the feeling somebody's trying to make money out of it. You know what I mean? There's there's an angle, a game, try my diet, da 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 da. And it's like, if it was cured with a diet, I think we would have heard about it by now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sadly, good
Right.
diet, fine, great, but magic
Yeah.
diet, I don't think so.
Well, and I think we've all heard that, Tom. We've all been told, oh, do this, eat a clean diet. And it's like, I've done that. I've lost a ton of weight, and people ask me, well, does it make you feel better? And it's like, maybe I'm a little bit more flexible, maybe I'm, but as far as my MS symptoms, they're still there. They haven't gone away.
No, but I think if you suddenly decided to go the other way, remember that guy Morgan Spurlock that just ate McDonald's for ages? I don't think he was feeling that super shiny at the end, but McDonald's, Wendy's, Burger King, I don't Taco Bell, I don't care, fast food, highly processed fast food, I think is probably not the cornerstone of your shouldn't be the cornerstone of your diet. But I know you were in the Army back in the day, did the MS affect you then? I mean, could you tell? Because you said you just came out, you must have hidden it for a while.
I hid it for a long time, Dom.
After you knew the diagnosis, or you just hid the things that were happening?
So I hid it for the first 2 years. I remember back in 2009, and I was on my second deployment to Iraq, and I was on a mission, and we traveled at night, and I remember having like these flashes in my eyes, except like somebody shined a flashlight in my eye.
Yeah.
The problem is it didn't go away, and it was there for many days, and then it went away.
Were you
And at
driving?
that same time, we were
so
driving.
you're driving and you're having flashes in your eyes in a combat zone.
Right. Yeah. And I
cool.
thought, oh, well, it is what it is. Didn't know what it was. I'm like, I did what every military guy does and drinks water, takes some ibuprofen, and keep on going.
The magic pills. You know what, Brandon? You say that, I'm sitting here. It's the end of the day for me. And guess what I've got sitting here on my desk, just in case.
Yeah.
You make me laugh. Yeah. It's take 2 ibuprofen, call me in the morning. Yeah.
Right.
And it goes away, doesn't it? And you think, it's this whole, I don't know if I was gonna, it's really hard advice, because you don't want somebody who's got nothing serious wrong with them to complain to the doctor. But also, I would say to anybody, especially guys, because we are historically good at ignoring stuff, is if you're starting to get things recurring, you might want to pop into the doctor. It's not a sign of weakness. And if you want to keep it secret, I mean, I kept it secret for ages as well. I knew I had a diagnosis, but I didn't think it would be helpful from a corporate point. I mean, now if I could go back and talk to, younger me, it would be like, don't be such an idiot, come out there with it. But it was this sign of weakness, to admit it. And I figured I wouldn't get jobs and et cetera, and it would be super duper hard. And so I thought, well, the easiest thing is just don't mention it.
Yeah. Well, and during that same time I was having the flashes, like we'd go on runs and my legs would be like extra heavy, like it was hard for me to walk after we'd run, and I'd be like, oh, I'm just out of shape, or, even though I'm in the best shape of my life, and those are just things I noticed right away. It wasn't until a couple of years after that where I was being wheeled into the ER, getting my first MRI, where I was told I had MS.
That'll get your attention, sort of not being able to get out of a wheelchair.
Oh yeah.
It's when it was happening to you in the military, could your pals around you, did they spot things and go, hey, Brandon, are you all right? I mean, or could you hide it? I could keep it down or make excuses and just sort of, so I just brushed over it, and people kind of didn't want to know too much. And as long as you made them happy that you were okay, then you can move on.
Yeah. Well, and I did my best to just do the soldier thing, show up to work, show up with everybody and push through, because I didn't know what was happening. I just thought it was like, oh, I'm just getting older. I just got home from my second deployment. Maybe this is what it feels like after getting home from a deployment. And so I didn't know what was happening. And, in the military, they're not really, how do I say this correctly? They don't promote going to the doctor. They're not like, hey, go to the doctor. They actually sometimes, like I had said, drink water, take ibuprofen. So I wasn't trying to have that stigma held over my head of, oh, he just goes to the doctor all the time. He's just always complaining about something, so.
Well, there's a word in the British military, they a friend of mine, when I just had Lemtrada recently, and I sent him a picture just, as a joke, but he's in the RAF and he just went, "Oh, how you doing? Sick note." And it was just, okay, yeah. But I mean, I get it. It's not done with malice, but the second you've got any contact with the medical profession, you're suddenly known as sick note,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
what you get to get off work. It's a sick note, So
Right.
it's just, yeah, it's a whole undertone of, are you trying to sort of chin off doing anything, by using the doctor as your excuse?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that really, I mean, I wouldn't say I think about that overtly, but I mean that was certainly there. The oh god, this guy's always sick. Oh, he's always complaining. Oh, And there's some regiments where it'd just be like, "Bye, there's the door.
Mhm.
Don't let it hit you as you leave."
Yeah. Yeah.
It's we don't do weakness, and physical weakness is considered weakness,
Right.
even
Well,
if
and
it's strong.
I think that that mindset that I had, that I felt the symptoms in the military. I got out, I got MS. I was still in that mindset of, keep pushing, keep going. Like,
Yeah,
MS is here, you do have MS, but and it is, it's a debilitating condition, and it can be very debilitating for some people. And it's not like that for everybody.
yeah.
But I took the first 6 years after I got out and just didn't do anything about my MS. I ignored it. I put it on the back burner. And what it was is I was so scared of what was happening to me. I was in
Yeah.
such denial of what was happening to me that I just couldn't even face it. I'd go to my neurologist, and he'd do the poke test and the prick test, and they'd be like, "You feel that?" And I'd be like, "Yep." Couldn't feel it because I was so scared of what was happening. You know, I was
I
young.
wonder if they know if we're BSing them when we try that. It's just are they too good, or you think, did I pull it off?
Yeah. And then sometimes you wonder, did I feel that or didn't I? I can't remember. Did I feel?
It's imposter syndrome, isn't it? Then you get into I remember going through a phase for years thinking, I wonder if I've been misdiagnosed. I wonder if I'm taking these powerful drugs. And then, and then you have to stop and think, hang on, this is MS specialist neurologists. They're looking at MRI, they're doing, I think somebody by now, in 28 years may have tapped you on the shoulder and said, can we have a chat? Well, two things. One, if you were going to try and sum up a message for other guys, when we scroll back, when we were younger, what would you have done differently? And then tell me where you want to go with this all now. So put it in two parts: advice to the
Sure.
younger Brandon, and then plans for the Brandon as you get older.
Yeah. So my advice to anybody newly diagnosed or even struggling with getting a diagnosis, there are many people that go many years with trying to get diagnosed,
Yeah.
and is just pay attention to what's happening to your body. Do yourself a favor and be proactive about your health. Like I said, I went 6 years with doing nothing. I wasn't on a medication. I wasn't on a different diet. I didn't do more exercise. I did none of it. And unfortunately, I look back now and I see how much damage that did. And I'm regretful of it. And my message to somebody newly diagnosed is just do something. I don't care if you do any one of those three things, but do something, because I didn't do any of that. And that's my biggest regret. Looking forward, what I'm, in the now, is that I want to provide a platform for people when they are really struggling, or they want to interact with somebody with MS. I have, in the past 3-4 years since I've addressed my MS, I have allowed myself to be more vulnerable. I've allowed myself to be more proactive about my health, and allow yourself when you're ready and you're done. Everybody goes through a grieving process. Everybody goes through denial.
For
Everybody
sure.
goes through the full acceptance process. But once you're ready, open up and let yourself be vulnerable to the MS community, because that has changed my way of how I address MS. It's changed my way of how I go about my life with MS. And every night I have a support group that I go, or that I talk to.
Every
And
night.
every night, and it's been like that for about 3 years now.
Right. Cool.
And it's been a game changer for me. And I encourage anybody that's really struggling to just reach out. We're all going through the same thing together, and we can all support each other as we go through this journey.
Yeah. It's just I'd echo that. I'd say I always worry because younger me was very, very stupid and knew everything as far as I was concerned. So sometimes I think being older and giving advice to a younger me, I'm not sure younger me would have listened to it. I don't know. I've got a 20-year-old daughter, and I'm suddenly getting a lot of deja vu about, honestly, this will be good to know. Yeah, yeah, whatever, boof, and not interested. So I just want that one bit to stick, like you said, listen to your body, you know, even if you keep it to yourself initially, but go do something and engage with the medical profession. And heck, you can lurk on Twitter. You can lurk on all these things. It's and just, you don't have to pile in, but when you do, like you say, just be open and honest, and nobody will get at you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's cool. So what's your next blog post going to be?
Um, uh, it's going to be about the MRI and claustrophobia.
Right. Cool. I've never had that, Brandon. I fall asleep. I think it's a government sanctioned rest. So I just put in my earplugs and just fall asleep.
Yeah.
They do put the Hannibal Lecter mask on you these days,
Yeah.
which they never used to. But now it's like, pawump, and you're going, okay, I'm glad I'm
Mhm.
cool with this.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're not. Do you know the other thing somebody said? Mindfulness and meditation in a scanner, and learning that before you don't want to be in the scanner and be trying to learn to meditate. You kind of want to have a grip on controlling some things in your own brain ahead of time, because yeah, you're right, when you're fit into that machine, and the best thing you can do is lie stationary.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know but
Yeah. Well, and I had just a kind of a preview is, I've done fine with MRIs. My
yeah,
whole journey, I've done fine until lately,
right, okay,
and the past few. And I get in there and I've had to squeeze the ball many times, like take
yeah,
a
again,
break.
don't be ashamed to squeeze
Yeah.
that ball they give you.
Yeah, and I actually asked the tech. I'd said, "Oh, what's happened?" I'd said, "I used to do fantastic in these. I'd fall asleep, and
Hmm.
it was the most relaxing. It was really relaxing. Listen to some music." And he said, what he said is, some people, they kind of hit a wall, when they have just had enough. And he said, you might be there where you've just had enough MRIs in your life, or you might just need a little sedation, or a little relaxing pill. So that's
You
kind of what
mentioned
I'm going to be
sedation.
talking about. Yeah.
You mentioned sedation. My daughter's godmother is a consultant radiologist, and she said, oh, just ask for drugs, you can have them. And I'm thinking, it's always great when the government says it's okay and you get like high quality things to knock you out a bit. I always think it's so much better than thinking that this could be slightly dodgy or iffy.
Yeah.
Prescription
Yeah.
quality drugs, top notch. But yeah. Anyway, hey Brandon, I would ask you one more thing. As things progress and develop in your MS and your engagement, will you come back on the MS Guide and talk to us again?
Yes, Dom, I'd be happy to come back at any time.
Hey, that's a pleasure, Brandon. Thank you so much for taking the time. I really appreciate it.
Yes, likewise, Dom. I
All right,
appreciate it.
take care.